Okay, 1 hour and 25 minutes to go for the start of the India-England semi-final that's there at Providence, Guyana. The first major good news that we can say is, for people who are asking about the rain, don't worry, it rained about 45 minutes ago. There was a short, sharp shower, but it is now cleared and you may get the toss and the game on time. Remember, the Providence Guyana Stadium has got a wonderful drainage thing. Okay, there are many people saying, why don't you cover the pitch? Maybe you will not need that in Providence. So, this rain will get tested. The drainage facilities will be tested. But I think we can start on time. It's an even contest. 12-11, India are leading as far as 23 T20Is are concerned. One part of revenge is complete. That Australia game at St. Lucia. Second part of the revenge, what started in 2022 October, it might be culminated today at Guyana between India and England. Last time it was a 10-wicket hammering. This time India looks to be in top form heading into it.
And actually, if you're looking at it, a lot of people have been talking about, the revenge narrative aside for Australia, which is obviously there. The fact of the matter is, many are comparing the 10-wicket hammering now, and I've seen these comparisons, whether it be in the foreign media or on social media as well. They're comparing the 10-wicket hammering that India were handed by England as being England's 2015 moment. Something that sparked a genesis, because again, what was England's low point when it came to white ball cricket? It was when they were knocked out of the ICC World Cup in 2015, had an embarrassing display. After that, you got a new captain, Owen Morgan, who pledged to get changes made. Obviously, the time frame for India's changes was relatively smaller because, of course, you also live in an era now where, ICC tournaments are rolling by on a yearly basis. But many are making the same comparison. The true litmus test now, if you ask me, will be this match, because again, for India, we've seen they have no problems against any kind of opposition when it is in the group stages. What has always been the true acid test, how it is that India doing the knockouts, and for a nation of India is not only stature in world cricket, but also the kind of talent you have. The bare minimum expectation should be making a final, and winning should be taken as being one of the ultimate goals on a regular basis, something that, as we know now for 10 plus years, 11th year has not been happening. Today, you're going to see at long last whether or not that is something that mental hurdle can be overcome.
That can be overcome.
There was an admission as far as mental hurdles are concerned. There was a big admission from Rohit Sharma. There's a lot of talk that happens on the outside about this team facing a fear of failure, some bad luck as well if they've faced in recent times. All of that put together, Rohit Sharma did admit, and I like that from the Indian captain. Truth be told, you don't expect a lot of captains to admit on the global stage that yes, there is a little bit of a fear of failure, especially with a team like India, the reputation that it comes with, the stature that it enjoys, all of that put together. I don't think you expect many nations with that kind of a stature to be accepting that, listen, yes, we do, for whatever we may be as cricketers, but we do face a fear of failure. Rohit Sharma did address that question and admit as well that yes, there is a bit of an issue as far as fear of failure is concerned. But all of that set aside, he did also say that we're not just looking at what had happened in the past. In fact, I also liked what he said, that for us not much has changed from that time to this time. The one thing though that has changed is the conditions, he says. Not that much about the approach, not that much about the personnel or anything like that. He says that the conditions is one thing that has changed, but they're not trying to dwell on what happened in 2022. And Matthew Mott also then says that this is an Indian team, perhaps cognizant of the fact, and everyone's seen the way that the Indian team has played this year. They've also taken cognizance. Matthew Mott saying then that it's not the same Indian team as was in 2022.
I mean, yeah, it's not the same. There is only one change in the entire team. It still remains the same when you look at the squad personnel. But at this point in time, see, India are playing in a very different way. You saw that intent against Australia, okay? Yeah. They managed to overcome them and on a flat deck in St. Lucia. But Guyana, Providence is a totally different kettle of fish altogether, because Rohit Sharma will be playing there for the very first time. He's never played a T20I there. On top of that, Guyana has been that one wicket where a score in the range of 130, 140 is a winnable one.
Yeah, it's not one of the more high scoring pitches.
146, I was going through the numbers, is the average first innings
Ever, I think you were only telling yesterday that the high score ever is 191 in a T20.
England versus
Yeah,
West Indies.
and that's why I see there's a question I want to ask all three of you. Now that Rohit Sharma has come out and
Before Sarshwat we get there, I just want to tell our viewers as well that as has been the journey here at Sports Today, as far as coverage is concerned of the T20 World Cup, we will be going very shortly across to our man on the ground. Nikhil, in fact, is, as we speak, just a few moments away from having a live conversation. He picks the brains of Sunil Gavaskar as well as a Monty Panesar as well, both of them joining him very shortly. So stay tuned. Of course, we'll be coming back here and we'd love to take your questions as well. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for that chat as well, which is coming your way very shortly.
Yep, so we'll get to see what...
Coming back, sir, I don't think we have a lot of time, but what is the question?
yeah.
Maybe one of us can answer.
I was just asking this, that do you think that this approach now can go against the Indian team, because now that they have actually agreed on the fact that there were some mental hurdles earlier and the approach was an issue, now do you think that they are hell-bent on staying at that approach only? Maybe that approach can go against you and backfire here. So do you think the team is going to change their approach here? Because again and again, even Nikhil sir has mentioned this fact that the team had already decided that whatever happens, we are losing anyways. This is our last chance. So it's better to, go with that fearlessness and then actually come out. And even if you lose, then that's a whole matter altogether. But do you think that's going to really backfire on the Indian team in these conditions?
As I said, it's a lottery. You show the
This
intent.
pitch.
I mean, whatever intent in a World Cup knockout, intent. You've seen 2 World Cups being
Because
absolutely...
intent we have seen earlier by the Indian team also in other occasions, but in a knockout
No. There was
Not in the final of
big
2020.
question
No,
marks
not in
over
the
intent.
I'm talking about just in general in the IPL. We have seen intent by players. We have seen intent.
But
on
again, IPL
some
isn't the
occasions.
benchmark.
Yeah,
IPL isn't the benchmark.
It's a different kettle of fish.
It's a
when you-
different kettle of fish. So that is why I get the feeling that, okay, you play according to the situation. Smart intent. It's just not intent. Smart intent that you need. A 130, if you make it and you manage to defend it, that is also called playing aggressively and playing with intent.
I think the question here should be whether the Indian team changes its approach, knowing that where they'll be playing today, the power score is 146, 150. That's the range. That's I think the question over here, because that determines what kind of approach India will have in mind. If you know very well that that's the kind of power score here, then you need not be going all guns blazing from the word go.
I think they will go all guns blazing though. I think
They'll have to.
with the way they've structured their batting lineup, batting conservatively makes no sense. And you could bat conservatively and get to maybe 120, but there's a chance if everyone looks to bat aggressively that again on a lottery pitch, lottery style of play, you may end up getting some quick fire runs, and that 120, 130 can get pushed to 150,
Or maybe
which
at
would then
least
be
120 you'll get to 120 even if you're playing aggressively
and you lose
wickets. Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
So I don't think they're changing their approach, and I think it would be foolish of them too, because if they do, then they'll fall prey to exactly the same mistake that they made in previous knockouts and ICC tournaments, which is changing your approach or the approach that got you that far. You're then altering it, saying no, pressure situation.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yep.
Absolutely. In fact, now is the moment that you perhaps have been waiting for. We'll cut across to Nikhil, who is joined by Monty Panesar and Sunil Gavaskar. But don't go anywhere. After that chat gets over, we'll be here in the Sports Today studio talking more, building up to the match and taking your questions as well. So don't go anywhere.
On the broadcast with us, I'll go to Mr. Gavaskar. Sahib, as I said in my report, things have changed. It's a repeat of the same semi-final on paper, but things seem to have changed. Let's start with the venue. That was played on a batting-friendly pitch in Adelaide. This one will be played on a low, bouncy, spin-friendly track in Guyana. Do you think that changes the equation? If it does, how?
Definitely. Because look, the pitch in Adelaide did not help our bowlers at all. Our bowlers were nullified, the efforts were nullified on a very good batting pitch at Adelaide. On the other hand, here in Providence in Guyana, the pitch will be something which will certainly help the Indian bowlers. The Indian bowlers, the variety that they have, the new ball attack of Arshdeep and Jasprit Bumrah, left and right hand combination. And then, of course, the spinners coming and bowling what they did all this in this tournament. And Hardik Pandya, the way he's been bowling and picking wickets certainly gives hope that it'll be a different story here in Providence, Guyana.
Okay, Saiva, you spoke about the conditions. They've changed. We've established that. Let's talk about the Indian team. We heard from the English camp. Matthew Mott, the coach, came yesterday and said, listen, that last Indian team in Adelaide did not know what was a good total on that pitch. They were not maximizing their batting potential. He says that this Indian team he can see is maximizing their batting potential. Do you see a change in the attitude and the approach also of Indian batting, Adelaide versus Guyana?
It definitely does, because look at the way the Indian openers have been going in the first 6 overs. Whether they're getting out or not, the worry about getting out is no longer there. It's the awareness that come what may, with the depth that Indian batting lineup has, that you've got to try and maximize the number of runs you can score in the power play when there are only 2 fielders in the deep. So with that intent, the Indian batting has changed considerably.
Okay, Monty, let me come to you on this one. You heard Mr. Gavaskar there talking about the advantage, those slight advantage that the Indian team has based on the conditions as well as their approach. But I want you to set this game up for us. Most analysts are predicting that India hold a slight edge over England in this encounter. Do you agree? Please set the game for us.
Yeah, look, I agree. For England to beat India, there's going to be a few factors. In my opinion, Rohit Sharma's wicket, because his strike rate's phenomenally high at the moment, and how he took on the Australian pacers. Will he able to do that on a slow, low service against the England fast bowlers? And if he bats throughout the whole power play and not get out, I think then he gives a perfect platform, to set England a really big total. Another factor is obviously Jasprit Bumrah. His 4 overs, he hasn't gone the distance. But we know this India team, when they play the semi-finals or they get to the big stage, they just somehow don't get over the line. What if he has just a bad day today? What if his 4 overs go the distance? Because, T20 cricket is like that. Josh Buttler's form is really good at the moment. He took on the spinners against America. Can he provide, that similar form against, Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav? So when I look at the overall picture, it's the Rohit Sharma wicket is very important. Also, I think Rishabh Pant's in really good form. The 4 overs of Jasprit Bumrah.
Okay.
And then with England, I think it's again, if Phil Salt and Josh Buttler get England off to a good start, I think that's where they build their platform, where they then say, right, any ball just goes like a free hit. They go into that fearless mentality. But India have been playing this type of cricket over the last couple of years, where England have probably been playing over the last, few more years. It's just the wicket. On a slow, low wicket, can England outperform, against the Indian bowlers? That's going to be the biggest question, in my opinion, because I just think that when you look at England's batting lineup, it's strong. Everyone's in really good form. It's just going to be how they adapt their game, because it's not Barbados pitch; it's a different pitch altogether. And if they adapt really well, I think England could beat India.
Okay, that's very interesting. You talk about the conditions, Monty. Just let me, further on that. Do you see the fact that India have had a spotless campaign so far? They've been undefeated. They've been clinical in their performance. England, on the other hand, have had a start-stop sort of a campaign in this World Cup. Games washed out, a loss here and there. Do you think that makes a difference? We keep talking about rhythm. We keep talking about form. We keep talking about momentum. Do you see that as a difference maker too today?
Well, you look at the memories of the 50 years of the World Cup. Ahmedabad versus Australia, everyone thought India were going to win that, but they choked under pressure. So again, England will be saying, guys, India do choke a semi-final big games. Let's do the same thing at them. Let's go after them. Let's go at them really hard. We know we're a really big team, and we play our best cricket the bigger the stage it is. And this is where I just think, this is a much hardened Indian team, in my opinion. I think they've hardened from that experience. And, it's going to be, Adil Rashid's 4 overs is again going to be critical on this slow, low surface. Moeen Ali's as well. I think he'll have to bowl 4 overs as well. So how the spinners operate, how, Rishabh Pant, we know he'll play extravagant shots and then he'll play like a silly shot reverse sweep and just get out backward point or something, being over maybe confident at times. That's the bit they've got to, be very smart and very sharp. But the biggest wicket's going to be Rohit Sharma for England. Simple as that. He's the guy who sets the platform. And let's say if he goes after the England bowlers, then it could be a different ball game. So, I think that's what the England camp will be thinking. Get Rohit Sharma early and let's go after Jasprit Bumrah. Let's not shy away from him. And then India will be in deep trouble.
Okay. Okay, two players that Monty has spoken a lot about in this particular broadcast. Rohit Sharma's wicket, he says, going to be crucial. Then those 4 overs that will be bowled by Jasprit Bumrah. But the larger point, Sunny bhai, that I was talking and Monty also alluded to that, was big games, right? Big games, India on occasions has faltered. Look at the 50-over World Cup. You do really well, but in the final you falter. That fear of failure we've seen with the Indian team, and in a sense, Rohit Sharma on the eve of the game kind of accepted that yes, it did play a part in India losing crucial games. Do you think that is something that India has put aside in this tournament?
The fear of failure is no longer there because it was more as a batter, the fear of getting out. Now, when you know that it doesn't matter, if you get out looking to score maximum runs, that is the accepted way in the change room, then I don't think the fear of getting out will be there. And therefore, this is the reason why we see maybe a couple of wickets going in the first 5-6 overs. But at the same time, as we saw against Australia, we had so many runs in the first 6 overs that took the game away from Australia.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing, I wonder if it's going to be a catch-22 situation. We've already established it's going to be a slow, low pitch here. That means not conducive to stroke making. Yet we've seen Indian openers, you've spoken about their approach, being aggressive. We know that probably the best time to be aggressive is those first 6 overs. What do you do if you're the Indian top order? Be aggressive, utilize the new ball in the power play and get as much as you can, or be a bit more circumspect because this is going to be a low-scoring ground and try and back your way through the entire innings. What should be the approach?
Just attack and be aggressive because, like I said, there is great batting depth. And so not to worry about what happens in the first 6 overs, except, of course, you don't want to lose 3 wickets in the first 6 overs for 15 or 20 runs. That's no help. But if you look to get about 50, 55, 60 in the first 6 overs, that is about 9 runs to 10 runs and over, that'll be, and lose maybe a wicket, that will be the perfect start for the Indian team.
Okay, that's Sunny Gavaskar telling you what is the approach that the Indian batters must have. We are all set for that big semi-final, and just as I speak, I can feel water just falling in, very slight drizzle. I hope it has no role to play, and we have the toss on time. But we'll keep updating you here on India Today. But if you want minute-by-minute update, you need to subscribe to our digital platform, Sports Today. Go to YouTube, look for Sports Today, subscribe to it, because there we will be continuously live leading up to that toss, telling you the playing 11s as well as all the analysis that you would want for this semi-final. For the moment, completely out of time on this broadcast, coming to you live from Guyana. Nikhil signing off. Bye-bye.
Okay, so there you heard from Nikhil, you heard from Monty Panesar as well as Sunil Gavaskar as well. How they, especially Sunny ji, feels that surface is what's the difference here, and that's why the Indian team has the edge. Don't worry, we'll put a separate video out of the interview as well in case you're joining us right now and missed out. In fact, what is it that things are like over there on the ground? As you heard from Nikhil, it's just starting to drizzle a bit. Nikhil, in fact, will be joining us very shortly. So everything that's happening in Guyana, you will get to know nowhere else but on Sports Day. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, we'll carry on with the conversation. And I like the one point that was made over there about the surface, how the surface has changed. It was a one-way surface, a very one-dimensional surface back in Adelaide. But here, gents, is a different surface altogether, where you expect a 146, 150 run total in the first innings to be a match-winning total as well, as we've seen in the last 5 matches being played over here. That's the total. The teams have put batting first, and more often than not, it's the team batting first that's won as well here in Guyana.
If you look at whatever has happened in the World Cup's knockout stages, it's 12-0 for the teams ever since 2014 that have chased. No team has defended a total ever since 2013 in an ICC, and because you look at 14, India chased in the semi-final, Sri Lanka chased in the final. 15, if you look at it, Australia chased in the final and New Zealand chased in the semi-final. But if you look at the other first semi-final,
No, but
Australia defended, okay?
yeah, so
17, Pakistan
Even
defended.
Pakistan defended.
And about 20 T20 World Cups.
Ah.
T20 World Cup, 16, you look at it, semi-final, England chased,
Yeah.
West Indies chased. 21, Australia chased, semi-finals, New Zealand chased and Australia chased.
correct.
22, England chased and Pakistan chased.
Yes.
And
yes.
here, if you look at it in 24 rather, 23 also, you look at the ODI World Cup, Australia chased. Semi-finals also, we look at it, Australia chased, India defended.
Yeah.
So,
But India defending in that particular instance was an outlier.
I think, are defending close to 400 in that semi-final versus New Zealand. So, if you look at what is the situation in a T20 World Cup, chasing seems to be the norm in a knockout stage because you know the total weight, and definitely in Providence, Guyana, if you win the toss, you're going to chase, irrespective of the conditions.
And also there is rain.
Exactly, the rain makes that decision just so much
Simpler,
easier.
yeah.
Win the toss, put the other team.
The rain has actually gotten
It's
heavier.
intensified, and as I had said, at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. there is a bout of rain expected in Guyana. So that is why, but there is no problem, the outfield will dry out very quickly. The pitch will also be quite dry, and luckily we are not playing at the old Georgetown Oval in Border. A similar kind of a rain, you had no chance. Even it would have been like Florida, where the
patches.
Yeah, and that too, the outfield would have been submerged because the drainage was absolutely horrible. It was like the Delhi system. If there is a 1 hour of rain, you get knee-deep water in Delhi. That's how Boda Oval would be at that time. Providence situated higher. That's why you get better drainage facilities. So yes, again, go back to the videos that we have done. If there is a rain delay, 250 minutes, you're not going to see any overs being lost.
Imagine from 60 minutes you've gone to 250.
That's over 4 hours.
4 hours, 10 minutes. You will not see any reduction in overs until 12:10 a.m. IST. And this is not a 5-over game that you would want. In 2024, it's a 10-over.
That's the only bigger rise that I've seen than the Indian sex, I would say.
Yeah. Now, for that, your overs, you will start, if you want a 10-over game, it has to resume at 1:45 a.m. So 1:45 a.m. is the last of the last. After that, if there is rain, forget it. India are through to the final because they finished higher in the points table in the group stages. And also in the Super 8 stage, they finished higher. So the rain is back, but I think you need not worry about it. Maybe a short, sharp shower. I think we shared visuals on Sports Today also, where 55 minutes before the start of the show, there was a short, sharp spell of rain. And it was for just 20 minutes, but I think it then cleared out, and then you saw those. And you could see blue sky in the background.
Yeah, it seemed pretty okay before the shower actually started. But do you think then the rain, the effect of rain, do you think the England side would be having that on their head if they end up winning? If they lose the toss, how much under pressure is the England side going to be? Because they know that they need to have a full game. If they don't have a full game, then they on top of that they even lose the toss. Then I think it would be really, the end of the road for the English side.
But it depends what mindset they go in with. Because if they go in with the mindset that, look, it's going to be tough from now, then they've lost the game. On the other hand, they could very well say that, listen, everything is stacked against us. We have nothing to lose. Might as well go out there and play our shots. And that's a dangerous situation.
Knowing England, that the latter is what I think is what their mindset would be. Do we expect England to be meek about it? I don't think so.
No.
They're the defending champions for a reason.
And more so than that, their problem is that they never are meek. It can be an advantage or a disadvantage.
Exactly. They have been in positions that they made to look meek, let's say. They were 45 minutes away from exiting the tournament. Cut to today, the 29th, and then you see the whole situation change.
27.
Yeah.
Look, the problem is England have not had certain things going their way. I mean, for example, the tactics against Australia was horribly wrong. They opened with spin and both the Australian openers feasted upon it. Against South Africa, they lost the plot. They couldn't chase 25 and 16 balls. So that was one epic choke there. But you could see that South Africa's death bowling has gotten them throughout this T20 World Cup. Be it against Nepal, be it against Netherlands, be it against England. Every single
because
time.
a
Today it was there.
certain, because
Today
a
it was
certain
there.
Andrik Nokia decided to punish Delhi Capitals and its fans and is making up for all of it in a South African jersey.
But today it was their new ball bowlers who actually run through
all
the
the time,
Afghanistan
all the
side.
time if you look at it. So that is why South Africa are capitalizing on the conditions far better. But again, if you look at it, 8 o'clock, I don't know why the ICC were not flexible to hold, say, a final on the 30th. Why they were insisting on 29th and a reserve day on the 30th?
I think it's about the Saturday-Sunday thing. I think that was
But see, that also is away from convention.
It is a break from convention.
Yes, it is a big deviation because Sundays is what most ICC, IPL or just big occasions are reserved for. You look at anything, you look at Roland Garros, you look at Wimbledon, every week
World Cup
sporting
finals, yeah.
FIFA World Cup finals, your races as far as F1 is concerned, everything is
Always
reserved.
Sunday.
Always
I know.
Sunday.
And okay, why 30th? Are they worried that on 1st July onwards the hurricane season is going to come out in big flow and disrupt everything?
But I mean, to be fair, it's
You
not
are
like-
in hurricane season.
Or maybe just knowing how big a party place the Windies is, they didn't want to take a chance of people not turning up on a working day.
I don't know. See, where you anyway going to turn up on a Monday?
Exactly.
Where you anyway going to turn up on a Monday because most of the fans are there until Sunday. And if India wins, it's going to be a carnival all the way until they reach there. So, the scheduling has been absolutely horrendous.
It's not just the scheduling that has been.
I mean,
not
the timings also.
What else?
Timing, the preparation, the grounds, the
timings.
wickets,
Afghanistan will testify to that.
facilities,
See, timings,
groundsmen.
facilities you can't help because see, that's just the reality of how it is when it comes to cricket's haves and the have-nots. You will see very different conditions in the top three vis-a-vis other nations. That is not.
I'll
something I
count
can
even
help.
Sri Lanka. See the way they actually handled everything during the Asia Cup. I think that was tremendous. The way they during the
That I
rain
agree.
sheet,
That I agree. Their handling of rain far better.
much better.
Although I really wish we didn't have another tournament marred by rain.
I know, and if you look at it, interestingly, whenever a tournament's been marred by rain, India seemed to do much better. Look at what happened in 2022. Initial phases, we thought, is the entire league stage going to get washed out in Australia?
2013 final it rained. You ended up
We had a
winning that
2020.
game.
Even if you look
But
at
what
the
about
Asia Cup,
2019 then?
That was
yeah.
the outlier.
That,
you had a 2-day game. You had a 2-day
two-day semi.
international.
Yeah.
Because against New Zealand, it stayed overcast throughout, and because of that, they just couldn't get going.
And you had your trademark bad half an hour.
Bad half an hour.
Don't
Against the
remind me.
swinging
No, the
balls.
bad half an hour trend started from there only.
It started from there, then it reoccurred in WTC 21,
Actually,
and
for
then
me,
it
it started
reoccurred.
in 2017.
I know.
Amir.
Yeah.
That was the first bad half an hour.
Half
You had where
hour.
all your top three were decimated, and then your middle
17.
order.
Amir got Virat out twice.
Yeah. 17, then
Azhar Ali
19, then
had to top the
21,
Yeah,
then
then on the next ball he was caught.
twice in 23.
Twice. Just once.
Once, right?
WTC also, no?
No, WTC, see the conditions.
See, 20, you know what?
By the way, if it wasn't for, see, who expected India to lose 7 wickets in the last session? 7
But
wickets!
Harshit sir, would you call the 20?
And then, by the way, can I tell you, it rained after the match got over.
Yeah, but tell me one thing: do you call the 2023 World Cup final as bad 30 minutes? Because I feel that there weren't any bad 30 minutes.
Yeah, that
I
you
think it
would-
was just
Bad
clever
30
cricket.
Though
It was just
I agree
clever
with bad
cricket.
30 overs.
Yeah.
And I think it was more clever cricket and much better understanding of the situations by the Australian side. And I think that's where they see Indian team as per just playing in terms of playing that form they were in. I think they were much ahead. But again, cricket isn't about just the skill factor. It's also about how you are reading the conditions.
You're
and all
reminding me
the-
of an expert who thought that India won because the match was in fought on paper.
Look, it is evident that now this Indian cricket team, looking at whatever they have done in the T20 World Cup so far, okay, they have played, minus a Virat Kohli and a Rohit Sharma firing, okay. That is the one big positive that is there. Rohit Sharma fired in one game and he fired in the game versus Ireland, but apart from that, it's just been a plateau. Virat Kohli has had a plateau, okay. the others have stepped up, and that is why.
I'll just add Jadeja to the list as well.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
No, now people have started tend to forget his name also. When we are counting people who haven't performed, they don't even take his name then. The people have
guess-
sort of he's like, very honestly, it didn't even come to know that Jadeja is even in this World Cup. If we are not
You're
following,
saying that for yourself.
no,
it's
not
like-
for
that's true for a lot
in
of
general.
people. He's
People are
flying
not
very under the
exactly. We because we cover cricket and we have been watching it so closely and we know what the team is. But the people who are not so regular and who are not so in touch with this World Cup right now, I don't even think that they even know that a Jadeja is in this 11.
Yeah, because see,
And
he
to
didn't get
make
to bat
matters
and bowl.
worse, the least occurring event, let's say in a decade, then happens in the previous match as well, where he drops a catch.
Yeah, it's not been an easy
That's what
World Cup
happens
at
when your
all, yeah.
confidence is down.
Yeah, I mean, batting wise, his confidence is low. That has reflected even in his fielding also. Bowling also, it's not been a very easy journey for Jadeja. But you're not going to make any changes now in
He
the
conceded, I remember, Afghanistan and Bangladesh matches, first 2 balls. I think Afghanistan match, first ball it was a 6. Bangladesh match, second ball was a boundary.
boundary. Yeah.
But don't you think that even the team is now, not sort of backing him in that sense? There's no way that you can actually change the 11 now. But just the fact that you're promoting an Akshar over him in batting, you're giving Akshar the new ball also in the power play. Then suddenly, I think, when for such a long time Akshar Patel was, a backup to Ravindra Jadeja. Now suddenly, when you see in a World Cup, somebody doing better than you, I know it would be a healthy competition and it wouldn't be. There wouldn't be any negative thoughts, but yeah, in back of your head, you tend to, feel that way, that now suddenly it's Akshar who's bowling with the new ball, he's performing, he's coming above me in the batting also. So I think all of that and then not performing, it's just playing on his head.
and don't forget that right now the only reason both of them are playing is because you're in a unique situation that you want to extend your batting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you go by your traditional batting, you're not playing 3 spinners more often than not. You're playing that because of the conditions. If you're only playing 2 spinners, who are you picking right now, Jadeja or Akshar? I would clearly pick Akshar.
Even
And
I think
it's not
even
even a
the team would.
contest. It's not even a contest. It's not even close. That's what's worrisome when it comes to Jadeja's form in this format. But I think now, as Harshit says, you're not going to be making that change. You can't, because truth be told, if you do, you'd be accused of panicking. Of course, proactively, I would want them to make that sort of a change, but I don't see it happening.
Whom would you get in place of him? Siraj?
Also more than that,
No,
Shane,
I
I think
think
it's
better.
Then you'll have.
You have 6 bowlers anyway. You barely bowled him.
No, but Dubey, you cannot count him as a 6 bowler now. I don't count him as a bowling option because in the whole tournament he's bowled 1 over. So clearly he's not getting the ball in
That's
the
true.
semi-final.
I think, Shane, it's two pronged as far as Indian team's reasoning is concerned. One is it's about backing.
Yeah.
It's about backing, and certain things have worked out for you, so you don't want to make changes. By that logic, maybe a couple of other changes will also be needed. So that's point number 1 as to why the Indian team will not make that change. But the second point, and that's I think the more it's more of a factor weighing on the Indian team's mind, is the fact that Jadeja extends your batting. Whatever be it, yes, he may not have the numbers at the moment or for the last year and a half in this format of the game, including T20 cricket, and by T20 cricket I mean the IPL included over here. When you put together all those numbers, it doesn't make for a good reading. But Ravindra Jadeja, with that reputation that he comes in with, gives some sort of a psychological comfort, some sort of a cushion, psychological cushion, that yes, you have somebody who can step in at 7-8 wherever we ask him to, left-handed batter as well, and that helps us extend our batting. You don't have any other option. Otherwise, you look at the Indian bench as well, you don't have anyone else who can do both bat and bowl.
I think not just the bench. I think apart from that also, there's nobody in your larger frame.
There's always a
also.
Shardul Thakur.
No, again then a fast bowling option. Then
He
Shardul
comes
Thakur.
in places where you might need a seam friendly option.
Yeah.
Right
Here
now,
you
no.
would not have. Other than that, it's just Akshar and Jadeja.
He just got injured before his first call-up.
Yeah, poor.
But
Nitish
even
Kumar
then,
Reddy.
Shashwat does make a point that as far as your reserves are concerned, in certain areas, yes, there's a lot of reserves. But in some areas, especially the fast bowling all-rounder role, look at it, that conversation has been going on since decades now, and it still remains that you haven't really had somebody as good as a Kapil Dev even till date. Hardik Pandya was always touted to be the next Kapil Dev in terms of abilities. He's there and thereabouts. But
he's the best you produced in that
produced, but look at it after that. He played his first T20 World Cup, Hardik Pandya, 2016.
16, yep.
8 years down the line, do you have anyone else to look forward to? Nitish Reddy, if that name's even coming up right now. By the way, all you've seen from him is one IPL.
Yeah.
There is so much more that you need to see of a Nitish Reddy. Otherwise, you will be accused of jumping the gun, as was the case in of Venkatesh Iyer, Umran Malik, and a couple of other players as well.
But Harshit sir, don't you think that, see, what I feel here is that you're not, you yourself aren't making that effort to, produce fast bowling all-rounders. Somebody like a Shivam Dube, now I know that he was told by the team management earlier also to keep bowling and get better and better. But okay, he will get better more and more when he bowls in the Ranji Trophy, bowls IPL. He didn't bowl in the domestic circuits. But to actually give him that confidence, you need to make him bowl in international games. Till the time you don't do that, he won't get better.
Oh no, okay.
Then you're not bowling him.
Carrying on that, how do you give him the confidence? Where did you get him to bowl?
That's the problem. Na? You paratrooped him straight into the World Cup team. There you cannot take that chance. You're counting him as a bowling option.
He did bowl, I think, in the Afghanistan series.
He's bowled even in series prior to that, but the problem
South Africa.
Yeah, not South Africa necessarily. I think Australia.
Australia?
Some of the other series.
Ireland.
He bowled in Ireland. He wasn't very
It was
effective.
a long way back, Ireland.
October. It was in
Yeah.
October. Yeah, I mean, see, you're not going to bowl him in the IPL. Why? Because of the impact rule.
Also, it is down to the team. The franchises don't owe anything to Indian cricket.
Yeah.
It may act as a feeder system on paper, but for all practical purposes, no franchise is there to serve the purposes or the larger purposes of Indian cricket. No team or no franchise is going to dent its own season just for the greater good of Indian cricket. Whatever happens is a byproduct, by the way. Like the likes of a Nitish Kumar, Abhishek Sharma, whatever is happening, those good talents that you're able to spot at the end of the season and put your finger on certain names is all a byproduct. None of it was done keeping in mind the greater good of Indian cricket. It was all done to get the IPL title.
Exactly.
And we've not seen Nitish Kumar Reddy bowl that much also, because same reason he has bowled, but it's not enough for a sample size to actually see him how he performs. Now I think Shivam Dube will be bowling in the Zimbabwe series also. Now that he's replaced Nitish Kumar Reddy, but I think you need more people of that sort. There are very few names. See, do you remember that a player Ripal Patel in Delhi only?
Yes.
I just see these are so. That's so. I mean, this just shows that how less fast bowling all rounders are actually there. That I have to remember a Ripal Patel to actually think about who else are fast bowling all rounders.
And see, I remember years back, and I'm talking about my own fan experiences. We always said that India, you didn't have a conveyor belt of fast bowling talent. How did you change that? By actually making a conservative effort to do that. You went down to the grassroots levels and tried to scout and more importantly convince players that listen, this is a need for the national team. If you take this up, it might actually do your career better than being just a pure batter or a pure bowler. Because for years India have been looking for, and I'm talking about my fandom started in the early 2000s, and since then I've been hearing talk about all-rounder giving balance, all-rounder giving balance. You tried it with everyone. You tried making Irfan Pathan the all-rounder.
I remember for the longest time, your present chief selector as well was looked at the next heir as far as that particular role is concerned, or an heir to the great Kapil Dev.
Sanjay Bangar was touted in the early 2000s. Bangar with his medium pace, he was bowling medium pace by the way. What changed was in 2012 onwards, when you had the 4-0 whitewashes in both Australia and England, you wanted a concentrated effort in improving your fast bowling stocks. So how did it happen? Stage 1. Everybody got together and said, look, we have to increase our fast bowling talent pool. Okay, number 1. Stage 2, how do you go about that? By getting into the grassroots like what Shane said and ensure that all the state associations bought into it.
Correct.
Stage 3. Stage 3 was ensuring that pitches were made with a lot of grass, and at this point when you have that, pitches are made out of grass, you get more fast bowling options. From 2013 onwards, you had that particular thing. But Stage 4 was after 2013 you got a decent pool of fast bowlers. It's no coincidence that
and it took 3-4 years.
3-4 years. But now the impact rule has stymied that development.
But Sidvi sir,
Yeah,
don't you give all
Two-year
this
thing.
credit the fast bowling unit that has actually emerged since the past few years? I know the BCCI has definitely been making those efforts to get fast bowlers and everything. I remember MRF Pace Academy only.
Chennai.
In Chennai, you got a Glenn McGrath there to oversee everything. That has also been there since
There was even a
many
Dennis
years.
Lilly.
To start with, yeah. So that has also been since a very long time. But the real switch, according to me, when it came, when Virat actually became the Test captain and the fitness routine that he got in, I think that completely changed the image of Indian fast
It was
bowling.
both things.
Yeah.
You,
It was
you
also-
would not have been able to bring in those many fast bowlers if the talent reserves weren't there.
There.
Yeah, and also the kind of confidence he gave him, and he was very sure about this fact that I need fast bowlers.
Siraj is
attacking
living proof
fast
of that.
bowlers. Yeah.
Siraj is living proof of
Shami,
that.
Bumrah, fast tracking Bumrah. Bumrah was someone who didn't really play a lot of domestic
Yeah.
red ball cricket. But Shastri and Kohli said no, he needs to be playing Test cricket. It was a decision that was vindicated.
The
He
big
had
credit
a-
that has to go to that duo is one,
Shami.
of course, ensuring that all test matches, by the way, you had mostly for fast bowlers play for the Indian team. That became a habit under the Kohli Shastri regime. Point number one. Point number two, the other big factor, and I attribute a lot of success, to this particular duo that the Indian team has had, to the fact that if you've had those successes overseas, it has come only because you
Yeah.
made it a habit of taking 20 wickets in a test
Definitely.
match.
And all that
this
credit,
was
yeah.
something breathtaking to watch in Indian test cricket history. You were found wanting so many times, but you made it a habit of dismissing the opposition in 2 innings every time.
Yep. So that is why I say India had mixed success, I would say, also overseas. You didn't win in New Zealand. You didn't win in South Africa.
But New Zealand, how many test
You've
matches?
not won in England for a while.
You've not won a series in England. You won matches, but you never won a series.
Last series you won would have been what? 7-8?
Seven.
Yeah,
Seven.
exactly.
2007. New Zealand, you played 2 series in that period.
But just two matches, right?
Two matches.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
still didn't win. That's the point.
See, but
You only achieved success in Australia.
you did,
And,
but you
South
came
Africa
so
also
close.
didn't
You came so close
To the
in South
England
Africa
win.
on 2 occasions.
3 occasions.
England.
Three. 17, 2020, 21, and then the recent one.
Yeah. 3 series you
Bumrah's debut.
Yeah.
Then the 2020-21 series where that whole stump mic incident happened.
Correct.
Where the last
then
series
the last-
of Kohli's captaincy, and then the last time you
That,
went.
but there was
now
no
just getting back
need
to
to
this-
postpone that 5th match.
No, just
That's
getting.
England we're talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about
2-1, you were
Yeah.
up, played the 5th match. Even if you drew that, you had a series win.
So
Getting
what
back to
what
this-
we are getting into this whole thing is, see, the current crop have gone through a lot of turmoil. Okay, right from 2014 onwards. Right from 2014 onwards till now, you're seeing a culmination of how was it? How is things in Providence? It's all shaping up for that for 2 reasons. One, in 2022, you had to doubt your own T20 intent. Even now, this intent will come into question even now if you don't do well. South Africa, if you play that final on 29th, there it will be a different thing altogether, because their 2 teams are out to ensure that they change their legacy. South Africa finally have conquered an ICC knockout after 26 years. Now if India joins it, it will be what comes first, 26 years or 11 years. But England, look, they have had 3 situations that have almost dumped them out. One, in Antigua, they were 45 minutes away from losing, from being knocked out by Namibia because of the rain.
Rain, no other reason.
No other reason.
Yeah.
Second, you had to ensure that you had to do well in the group after losing to Australia. And you were again on the brink against South Africa when you lost. So you had to do well against the USA. They did well, and now they are in the semi-final at this point in time. So credit to them, that's why they are even more dangerous at this point.
Yeah.
This 2022 revenge saga will be irrespective of the conditions now, because Adelaide was different, Guyana will be different. Plus, you have had much more of build-up of rain than the match itself. The rain has dominated, and at that point in time, the rain has stopped in Guyana.
Yeah, Let's, in fact, get back to the game at hand. We do hear what you say in the comments as well. So getting back, in fact, we want to engage more with you, as is always the initiative over here at Sports Today. So we're coming up with a poll. Let us know your thoughts, who you're backing in this particular contest. That poll will be up on Sports Today very shortly. But let's tell you what's happening on the ground. What we're getting to know is that yes, there was a rain intervention just about 20 minutes back, but that has stopped now. There are bright clouds. There's a bright sky that you're looking at right now. The pitch is covered. As far as toss delay is concerned, we're yet to hear from the officials. I believe there is some sort of an inspection going on as well. We saw some visuals of what it is to be in the Indian camp and the England camp as well. Both camps looking rather relaxed right now. Players, in fact, some of them still happen to be in their training kits as well, sipping coffee, having some tea as well. So it seems relaxed right now. No indication though if toss is delayed. Now let's just get back to telling you a few things, and we'll take some questions as well to try and know what is it that's riding on your mind right now. The one thing is, you're looking at 250 minutes. Now that's a lot of time, over 4 hours. 4 hours 10 minutes is the excess time that you have, buffer time you have for this match, after which teams will start to lose overs. What happens if the match gets washed out? India go through. Why? Because India were group toppers in Group A. England finished second in their group. India also with a superior run as well, but that doesn't count for much as far as India's run is concerned. So if the game gets washed out, India going through. And for that, the one thing that's different in this match from any other matches that you see, not a 5-over contest per side that you're looking at. You need at least 10 overs for each side to played when it comes to determining the winner. So not 5 overs as is usually the case. You need both India and England to play 10 overs in case it's a truncated match. So that's what we're learning from the ground at the moment. The poll, by the way, is up. Some of the votes coming in as well. 70-30, many of you feel it is in India's favor right now. And we'll start taking some questions as well.
Before that, just quickly, obviously, since we're talking about India-England, just for you guys, if you're going through memories, and obviously this is a game that, India-England have played a lot of T20s. Just strictly sticking to T20 World Cup, so there are things you remember fondly looking back at this fixture. Because again, you'd really be hoping, let's put those vibes out there. Say, okay, maybe
I'll start. I'm the youngest.
Let me guess.
It's
Yuvraj?
Yeah, of course. That was because I still remember, I think those games used to happen really late at night back home in India. I was really small. I was in school. Maybe I was in 3rd or 4th. So it was such a big thing that my father actually woke me up. How big a factor that is, a day prior to school. Woke me up specially, just to tell me that this happened. So that was like a very big thing. And I think that was also the first time I started properly watching cricket, the 2007
right on cue.
World Cup. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a turning point for me. I think that
we're talking just T20 cricket, say?
Yeah, T20 World Cup specifically.
Okay.
Oh, only T20 World Cup.
There's only been, I think, 3 or 4 major encounters, right?
4, yeah.
So for me, it was that, yeah.
See, if I have to look at my favorite moment, I mean, just for the clinical nature of it, I think 2022 beats.
Yeah, actually, I was going there.
Clinical.
Myself.
But if you have to look at my favorite T20I moment in India-England contest, overall, in India-England T20I, Dhoni refusing a single in Birmingham. Yeah, I mean, he thought he will finish it. He refused to give the strike to Raidu in 2014.
Yeah.
He just decided that, okay, I will end it in style, and you lose by 3 runs.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But yeah, for me, as far as World Cups are concerned, 2009 seemed a very hazy thing. I don't know why 2009 is that World Cup wherein I just...
Well, you can't remember much.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of fatigue that year also because it happened after the IPL.
Same with 2010.
Yeah. Because at 2009, mind you, IPL was a new thing for Indian
and
fans.
it didn't happen in India then.
It happened in
England.
South
Africa.
Africa.
Oh yeah. The
South
IPL.
Africa.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about the World
I
Cup.
only remember 2 games in the 2009 World Cup. The first game, England-Netherlands, that Netherlands won at Lords.
And the final.
No, I remember the semi-final.
I remember the final, Pakistan, right?
Where Afridi's all-round show ensured that South Africa would be dumped out.
Again.
Pakistan, South Africa and Trent Bridge.
I remember Yunus Khan's team actually going on.
Oh yes,
to
I mean that year was pretty traumatic for Pakistan because just 3 months prior to that terrorist attack had happened against the Sri Lankan team at Lahore, and no international team came to Pakistan for 6 years. Then there were floods also, if I'm not mistaken, devastating floods in Pakistan. And Yunus Khan and the team paid a tribute to the victims.
Yeah, and I think the first time cricket in general returned to Pakistan, it was at Asia 11 versus World 11, right?
2015, Zimbabwe.
If you're
Zimbabwe was this tour first?
Zimbabwe, 2015.
So if we're talking about mine, I remember I'll go back also to 22, and the reason for that is I remember I made a lot of people very unhappy on Sports Today when I said very clearly, listen, England are the clear favourites. India winning this will be a minor miracle. People were like, oh, how can you say that, this, that. And then they had a victory that even I could not predict. No one was predicting. I looked at the score and said, listen, England are favourites here. I didn't expect us to be thrashed and sent out. So as far as clinical showings go, there's that. If I have to extend it to T20 eyes, I'd be hard pressed. Because I think if you go back, again, 2007, when I think you beat them, the 6-6s, that was hard to match because again, that was a pretty stacked England side when you're looking at it. It had a lot of good players. Star power off the charts. You had the likes of a Flintoff, who that format seemed to be made for.
Peterson.
Yeah, Flintoffs, the Petersons, young Stuart Broad, who then got pilloried. Yeah, Collingwood, who I don't think was the captain at that point.
Yes, he was.
2010,
Right,
the year that they won,
I know
he
that
was.
he was the
Yeah,
captain
the year
then.
that they won, he was.
2007,
I
don't
think he
think he was
was.
the
No,
captain.
I think he was.
Was it Flint?
10, I'm sure he was. 9.
9,
was the seven.
7, I
We can
doubt.
check.
Yeah, check because I don't think it was Collingwood. Collingwood became the captain later on.
I think it was
KP.
Let's check.
I think it
No,
was.
no.
I think it was KP.
I think he definitely wasn't. I
It's
will
just
check.
2007 England squad, but
Yeah.
that was another memorable match. If you're going, okay, let's extend the thing to World Cups in general. Another unfortunate bad memory I always have is 2019.
19, yeah.
Ooh, that was a
ODI World Cup.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah. That was a bad match because it did two things. One, it killed off the Kulcha tour. Second, you had to live with the embarrassing sight of MS Dhoni and Kedar Jadhav just carting the ball around to
Could
ensure.
you just confirm this once before I say it out?
Is this for real? Was this
Yeah,
really
that's
the
why I
case?
wasn't saying this. I
Was
wanted
this
to
really
check
the
this.
case?
No, this is the ODI World Cup that you're.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's why I did not speak
That's
up.
the ODI World
No,
Cup.
he was saying Michael Vaughan.
Yeah,
I think
that's
no
it.
way.
That's
This
why
guy
I
was
did
playing
not.
T20. Yes,
Vaughan.
Vaughan. There's no way Vaughan was playing T20. Yes.
No.
It was either Flintoff or.
But why are you checking there of all places?
Yeah, just check
Yeah.
any other side.
Yeah,
anywhere.
So, okay. And that is how. What's your favorite memory, Harshit?
Oh, also, if we're going ODI World Cup, also the draw.
By the way, the one good thing that came out of the 2019 match was the Ravindra Jadeja catch.
Of best.
Best two, I
Roy.
believe.
That orange jersey. He was a
It was Collingwood only inside.
Oh, it's calling.
Yeah, I
right?
he was a substitute.
I think that was the only
Because he wasn't playing. Okay,
silver lining for India in that match. Besides that, there was nothing
Yeah,
really
because
for
so-
India.
Favorite T20 memory?
My favorite T20 memory between the two sides, again sticking with World Cup, I think has to be Flintoff. I think Flintoff first King Yuvraj and then Stuart Broad getting the wrath of it. So I think it made Indians dream, it made Indians look at T20 cricket. Yuvraj Singh really showed the world how T20 cricket can be played. 6 only you'd seen Herschel Gibbs do it before him, I
Ravi
believe.
Shastri too.
I mean, if
And,
you're talking about other formats, then you had Shastri and
Shastri,
others.
yeah.
Sobers as well, yeah.
But yeah, I think that was like this. I think it was an epoch making moment. I think.
For Stuart Broad. Not like he went on to have another great career after that.
In Test he did.
No, in Test, absolutely.
There is
Certified
only
legend.
4 memories. You all picked them, and for me, it's not India versus England. It's England versus West Indies. Carlos Brathwaite, remember the
And that was something
But
insane.
Ben Stokes was made after that.
Yeah, ironically, that one clutch moment he bottled and then became the man for all
I
clutch
remember
moments.
that in that tournament, he was very economical. He was very good in bowling in that tournament.
He was more of a pure
But
all-rounder.
now, if cut to so many years, now I think England would take that happily because then they got the Ben Stokes, the trans. Maybe if that would have
course.
never happened, Ben Stokes would not never made it.
You know, 2022, you had to struggle because there was not a single chance given, not a DRS review, not a catch, not a run-out appeal, nothing, no LBW appeal.
I mean, he stood broad also after that 6 6.
It actually,
in Test.
2022 in many ways was mind-numbing for Indian cricket fans. It was you lost by 10 wickets earlier as well. You lost to your fiercest rival just a year before that.
Pakistan.
But then 2022 it dented you to
I think it
another
hurt
level.
more.
But Harshit sir, you were getting the signals for that actually happening.
Yeah, you
Zero
were.
out.
You were.
See, you could see a defeat, and calling in an India defeat in that match wouldn't have been the wrong thing to do.
No.
But that manner, see, it's the manner of the defeat. What will happen to Afghanistan, as we were speaking this morning as well, it dents them for every big semi-final or final that they are to play going forward, because these memories aren't good. The Indian team, if they weren't hurt the way that they were over there in 2020, maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Then maybe we wouldn't have shifted gears like we have in T20 cricket right now. It was global embarrassment for the Indian cricket team that there was a cricketing nation who taught India its own lesson. Because India walk around everywhere, go around the world. We as cricket fans as well take pride in us being at a different pedestal in comparison to the others. But we were taught a lesson in cricketing history that, so it was, everyone likes a big nation being brought down. Right, there are always going to be people who are going to like, let's say in football, say an England come down, a France come down, and it's a smaller team in comparison.
Brazil.
A competitive team though win it, but you never always like, the big team always winning.
Just dominating.
Just dominating. It was that kind of a moment in,
And it was
in cricket.
It was a very defining this thing, because it just showed you how far behind the curve you were. Mind you, this was an England team that weren't really kicking it in high gear. They scraped through to the semi-final with a win over Sri Lanka that required them to play very attritional cricket.
Yeah.
And then for them do this to you, and you were like shell shocked. You're like, boss, they didn't lose a wicket. There was not even a chance. There was no chance. And and again, I think the one defining moment I always have from that is that early on, when you had Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowling, and I think Josh Butler and Hales both took a liking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Breaking news. Toss is officially delayed. Toss is officially delayed. It's not raining there though at the moment, and there is some sort of an inspection going on next to the covers. The covers still on. Some sort of inspection going on.
I think the moment you were talking about here was that Rishabh Pant came up to
exactly. That was what I was coming to. Is that instead of and mind you, Bhuvneshwar was getting some swing.
Yeah.
They were playing it and they were reading it and hitting through the line. But I thought he's getting some swing. Why not take a chance? And at that point in time, Rishabh Pant comes out, and I was like, okay, that is a very scared move that you're bringing a Rishabh Pant back.
No, I think at that time what the team thought it was an attacking mode move by the team, because they thought because the batter will use their feet to actually attack Bhuvneshwar and counter the swing. That's why I think they got the keeper.
I still didn't like the move. I think you could have used what was there on offer, but I think by that point Bhuvneshwar in international cricket was also kind of failing.
On his last, you
Like,
will have to
yeah.
look at it. So yeah, from all
Akshar
that,
Patel even that day 7.5 economy.
Yeah, he was him and Arshdeep. I'm surprised Arshdeep didn't get more overs, because if you look at some of your other seamers, you actually did really get smacked. Shami was came in for a beating. Hardik was hammered. Bhuvneshwar only 2 overs. Ashwin, they really took a liking to bite.
only Arshdeep and Aksar were your most economical.
But Arshdeep only bowled 2 overs. So
Aksar bowled the entire lot. 4 overs.
Chanceless.
Absolutely chanceless.
let's just not talk about that semi-final, especially today.
I mean, we have to highlight.
It's difficult to look at this match, and
In isolation.
the word revenge was being used a couple of days back when you were playing against Australia. And truth be told, I was never looking at it as revenge.
Yeah,
and
this would be revenge.
I don't think it had the setting of a revenge also. It was two different settings. Today though, if there is, and I know in sport, you do look at revenge many times as well in sporting contests. This though makes for revenge. If India are to win today, this will count for revenge. No matter how the victory comes, it's just that it's exactly the same stage, exactly the same teams, exactly the same thing to play for as well. And if India are looking at revenge, today is the day.
This is revenge. This is proper definition of a revenge. Now you can dump England out and the trend will continue. No defending champion.
Then definitely one choker streak is ending.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it,
I said this during the 2023 World Cup also, and I'm saying it again.
See, what is higher, 11 years or 26 years? That is the main thing that you have to look at.
Saruk, what was your final prediction?
My final prediction, it was India and Afghanistan.
So halfway or not
You're
there.
halfway not there, Shane.
I had predicted India versus South Africa, so I'm kind of halfway there.
Oh, you predicted India, South Africa.
Yeah, I didn't pick Afghanistan.
You picked England, South Africa, right?
Yes, I have.
I had
You
picked
picked-
India, Australia.
Huh? How can you do that with South Africa? We made this prediction during
No, we did predictions after the
semi-final.
Australia match.
He was off.
No,
I was off that
now
day.
you predict.
The other Siddharth was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he predicted
no,
India.
but why not? Why are India and Australia in the final?
We predicted this
because we
after
did
the
these
semi-final
predictions
decided.
After the
Yeah.
semis were decided.
After the
Yeah, exactly.
India, we did this after the Afghanistan-Bangladesh match.
Correct. So that time we predicted because we knew the 4 were, right? So it was just a case of permutation. I said India, South Africa, I remember. And halfway there.
You predicted England, South Africa.
Yeah, I predicted.
He's also halfway there.
So one of us is definitely getting it right.
Yeah,
And I'll happily be proven wrong.
And I might just be just halfway right.
Me and Shadab predicted India won.
Yeah. That's why we're just not even halfway there yet.
See, it was like, today 56 all out. We're like, what?
That was just.
Was it a typo? 156 or 56?
No,
56 all out.
I think they were just too lethal. Rabada.
And this was a spicy pitch. Let's be very honest. Very spicy pitch.
Any batter would have been. How the ball that Nabi got out on, that was
slaughter.
just. And even.
I think Rashid, the delivery that Rashid.
Oh, it came in very.
But you know, the deliveries before that as well.
They were just too lethal. These
Oh,
two.
Nokia was breathing fire today.
All three
Ibrahim
pacers.
Zadran, also the one he was bowled by Rabada. Gulbuddin, Jansen
top
getting
of
one to
off.
nip in. Ooh,
Yeah.
beautiful stuff.
So,
Rot wasn't quite happy though. I read his comments. He wasn't quite happy with the pitch.
It says a lot that even Markram agreed with him. He said that this was tough. There's no two ways about it. He's saying if you're as a batter, you're seeing him kind of go up down like that, it's going to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. There's no two ways about it.
And plus, it's under lights. It was just. I wasn't even able to, I could even watch it. It was so lethal.
Yeah, so we are just awaiting what is going to be the inspection result because now toss has been officially delayed, but you're not going to lose any overs until
12:10.
Please, let's not even talk about losing overs at this point. It's just sad.
It
And
is
it's too soon to talk about that.
Way too soon.
It's just
way
7:30.
too soon.
And also
IST.
see, if you win the toss, it's a no-brainer. You're going to chase. Come what may, you're going to chase because DLS. Although I would be tempted to say, will you really look at DLS? Because DLS will not come into the fore until 12:10 a.m.
But I think you'll still want to, why? Because again, it's rained. You don't know what that does to the outfield. You don't know if the moisture will have some effect on the pitch. And perhaps most importantly, you don't know if the overhead cloud cover does something.
Although at 11 a.m. local was the last of the rain burst, and after that it's clear. So
All day.
it is clear all day.
Oh, but there were, apparently I was reading somewhere that there's some big clouds not so far off on the horizon. So you may not necessarily have rain, but cloud cover is a real thing. So you don't really know.
Just an off-field selection. Do you feel that you could see some team actually winning the toss and choosing to bat first?
If it wasn't for the rain.
Bowl first.
No, bowl first, any team that wins the toss will do, goes without saying.
Yeah, that will happen. So see it's tough. It's tough. I don't.
Why wouldn't India be tempted? I'm thinking to bat first.
Not a chance they'd be tempted.
Because England need Duckworth Lewis more than India.
Because they're the second place team.
That's one. I'm just saying. See, stats suggest batting first is not a bad idea over here.
Actually, see, Providence is a very tough venue to predict the trend because when you have chased, teams have won 5, lost 5. So what do you do then in Providence?
And also Providence, usually speaking, can be a very two-faced kind of a pitch. You've had the Guyana Amazon Warriors play CPL here, and more often than not, they do tend to feature some decent scoring games. I'm not saying high scoring in the realms of IPL's 250s, but you do get 170s, 180s, 190s scored here. One of the reasons, and there is a shot up on our website with Nikhil explaining it from, I think, yesterday's dugout, where he says that, what happens or why it tends to slow down is because the clay is not mixed in. And at this point, because it's not quite seasoned, for this thing, the pitches haven't been that well taken care of, and that's why the clay content in the pitches is a little less, which is making it little lower. Now that's what happens. If you had the clay, you could be having more even bounce, and then really it's anyone's game, because I think both teams have the kind of batting that would love a flatter pitch, one with more even bounce. You're not getting that though.
They won't get it in Providence.
You're not getting it in this Providence for sure.
Because 191 has been the highest ever.
Which is a long way back.
13 years, 14 years.
Long way back. The Indian team hasn't played here in I don't know how many years.
No, they played in 2023 and 2019.
How many? I think India.
3 matches they played in 4 years here.
No.
Yeah.
3 and 4. Are you sure?
Yes. It's
Okay, no, I'm mixing it with St.
You're
Lucia.
mixing it with
then.
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
2019
yeah,
you
yeah.
played one game. You played 2 games here in Providence in 2023. You played 2 and then you played 2 in the USA. I don't know where was the other
That was
one.
Lauderhill.
No. The one game in between. You played 2 in Providence.
I think
you
it was.
played
I
two
think it
in-
was Taruba, but I'm not sure.
No, I think you didn't play a game in
KL
Taruba.
Round century wala?
That game in Lauderhill.
That was 2016.
Was it North Sound? Could have been North Sound.
Could have been North Sound Antigua. Yeah.
Definitely,
2023 when Hardik was captain.
Captain. The 5-match series that happened after the test matches.
series.
Yeah.
So-
after Test Indies.
Yeah, so Groundsmen are covers may be coming off in a few minutes, which is good. So I think you may have the toss by 8 o'clock.
No. It's all just 20 minutes away from
Yeah.
You need enough time
See,
in that.
20 there, and maybe you can start another 15 after that.
Yeah, 8:15.
8:15, you could look at the start.
Exactly. So I think, see, Providence is a quick drain.
Because
You have good, let's say, drainage.
because see, already it's been
It's
what?
7:36.
And it's not been raining. Remember, that's the key thing. It's not been raining. If
Yeah,
it were
for a
raining-
while now it stopped raining.
Yeah, so I think the drainage would have been doing its magic.
Yeah, so that is why I think you will get a game in by 8:15 if the covers come on the umpires deem okay, it's good to go. So that is where we are looking at the current situation. Now, before that update, what were we debating upon?
We were debating playing conditions.
The playing conditions. So Providence, India have played 3 there in the last 4 years, won 2 and lost 1. And chasing has been the trend in Providence.
Yeah.
In the last 3 to 4 years when you look at it. So
And that is also going to be helpful in the DLS.
No, yeah.
yeah, it will be because the guys who have been very impactful in Providence are 2 in the current squad. Suryakumar Yadav and Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
These 2 have had good returns in Providence. Hardik Pandya and Kuldeep Yadav with the ball have been very good in Providence, Guyana. Rohit Sharma is going to play for the very first time there. Jasprit Bumrah is going to play for the very first time there. So, Virat Kohli also has a 50 in Providence. So, if you look at it, this team has got far more experience. England, on the other hand, have not played much in Providence.
Yeah, they generally speaking, when they tour the Caribbean, will be there and thereabouts of Barbados and Antigua and the likes. Guyana.
Look at it. The covers are all off.
Covers off and look at the ground, man.
It's
No,
pristine.
it doesn't even look like it ever rained.
Exactly. That's why Providence learnt lessons in a very hard way after 15 years. When Borda Oval was absolutely being decimated by the rain. And Borda, if you look at it, it is a very derelict old 60s and 70s. What happened?
Continue.
Okay, so from the 60s and the 70s, if you look at it, it was a very derelict old ground at that point in time. So that's why it is going to be very, very important. So Groundsmen have done a great job. The rain has come, so let's take some comments.
Yeah, because
before
we've
we
been
come
going
to
on
the
for a while,
toss.
truth be told, and we don't know when it is that the toss is going to happen.
291 votes and India is still leading 74-20.
I
Doesn't
want to be
surprise
surprised.
anyone.
Nah.
No.
Because mostly Indians have voted.
Exactly, we're an India-based channel. Anyway, Mohit Madan says, I'm all GGK to the 29 guys. Anxiety, well, it can go. I don't.
Go to Guyana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to Guyana.
If you
or
look-
go to Barbados.
If you look at the trend in India versus England ICC events, from 7 I'm talking about, 7 India won, 9 England won, 12 India won, 22 England have won. And if you look at the major ICC ODI events, 19 you won, England won, 23 India won. So it's always been up, down, up, down. There's never been a consistent run when you look at it in white ball cricket as per se when you look at India versus England. So with England winning in 2022, chances are you might win in 2024.
It's actually a very
also.
even keel contest.
It
It's
is.
never been one-sided.
Yep.
Especially if you remember, like at one point early on, India were one of those teams that were very, very good in T20s. England were quite the opposite. Then it's kind of changed up a bit in recent times, whereby you've seen India fall a little behind. England embraced the fearlessness, and it actually worked well for them in the shortest format.
Danush is like saying ICC knockout matches are right where Rohit hasn't scored a 50 against non-Bangladesh teams Until now, Bumrah was like SA and RCB ICC knockout matches.
I mean, hold your breath, Dhanush. I get your point. It's well taken. I understand that, stats don't really favor these teams or these players when it comes to, let's say, knockout games. But and we once said that I don't think it's down to individuals. I think it's a team thing right now, whereby, we know that once we are in knockouts, the collective freezes do tend to happen.
And see, it is unfortunately in the knockout stages, it will happen. No team, I mean, barring in Australia, has done so well in an ICC knockout.
Consistently. I think early days West Indies would have been one of the few, but then they've tailed off massively.
Yeah, I think, see, if you look...
75, 79, they were champs. 83, they were runners-up.
Yeah. See, you lost West Indies, actually, if you look at it. 2 World Cups, they have... they won 2 out of the 3 World Cup finals that they've been.
Okay.
Champions Trophy, they were winning... They have won 1 out of 2 finals. T20 World Cups,
2 out of 2.
2 out of 2. No, did you play in any of the other finals?
No.
2 out of
2012 and 2016.
So that's why they have lost only twice in the history of ICC. Australia also have lost twice in an ODI. This thing, 75 and 96.
No, that's it.
You haven't lost. Champions Trophy, whenever you come to the final, you won. T20 World Cup, one time you came to the final.
And you won.
So
Exactly.
that's why West Indies and South Africa, West Indies and Australia are the ultimate beasts in that sense. So, okay, I know what is GGK's thing, it's inevitable and all that thing, so we will take that.
Okay, Thanos.
Yeah, okay, Thanos in that sense. So, let's look at any other comments that are there.
Let's see. Vansh Jain says we should remove the toss formality and have it virtually. I mean, if there was some way to do away with the toss, I'd be a fan of hearing about it. And no, backflips don't count. It's the same thing.
Yeah, the only time a domestic event in India was done was on the toss. Was was it CK Naidu Trophy way back in the 90s? Because there rained throughout. Toss, the team won. Which is why.
Saurav Kumar says, how many players in this current 15 do you think are playing that final T20 tournament? I think a couple for sure.
That'll be interesting. Let's start counting.
Yes.
Rohit Kohli for
Rohit
sure.
Kohli
I
for
think.
sure.
Are you sure?
I think
About Virat, Rohit, I think it's his last.
Jadeja is
Virat,
what
I'm not sure.
I think I'll add Jadeja to the list as well.
Yeah, Jadeja I'm tentative on.
And Virat Kohli, I'm not sure if he's playing
I'm
in the
not
last.
sure then to fill.
No,
Forget about
I'm
it.
honestly not sure.
And beyond that, I don't really see anyone. See, Dubey, Pandya, Akshar, Kuldeep,
Surya.
Arshdeep, Bumrah, Sky, Yuzi Chahal, if he's around, Sanju, Jaiswal, none of these guys. I think, and the thing with T20 World Cups is, you don't really see wholesale change. I remember Josh Hazelwood said it after the game which Australia had against India. Was it? Yeah. He was in the press conference. He said that, I don't see wholesale changes happening even with the Australian team.
Yeah.
Because it's only a 2-year cycle. He said in 2-year cycles, you will not see wholesale changes. Yeah, you could see wholesale changes in the ODI World Cup for 2027, and even there, I'm not really sure because you're going to have your senior players. But generally speaking, you're likelier to see more wholesale changes in an ODI format than you are ever to see it in T20s. Because in T20 is 2-year format.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think maybe I would just be tempted to not include anybody in the list. Because of the Indian cricket team,
I never know.
You don't know?
Just see?
No.
What?
See, Jasprit Bumrah, I think he will be a gun bowler only for an ICC. He won't play bilaterals. He'll play an ICC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'll become what Shami was for one point.
Yeah.
The
So
World
you're
Cup to
saying
World Cup
you
holder.
nobody other than that? From
Yeah.
this 11 or this 15?
Who do you think is going to be retired?
From the 11?
No, from the 15. Who's close to retirement? No one.
Nobody. Yeah. So you're saying even you'll see Rohit Sharma again?
He's saying never say never.
I'm saying never
No.
say
Rohit Sharma, I feel it would be end of the road for
Look,
him.
Rohit
Virat
Sharma-
Kohli, I feel.
See, Rohit Sharma
He'll
has
continue.
made it clear that if fitness permitting, form permitting, he'll play even 2027.
Yeah.
So what is stopping him from playing 2026? That too at home.
The board?
But are we sure about that?
No, that's what I'm just saying. I'm giving you a hypothetical.
No, if they end up winning this,
We're
in
not
2
sure of
years,
anything.
nothing.
See, if you win this tournament, then what's stopping you from not retiring?
Yeah.
So that is why, look, no sportsman, if you look at history, has ever gone out on the ultimate of ultimate highs.
Yeah, but
In Indian ethos.
Oh, yeah, and I'll extend that to subcontinent.
Yeah.
I think that is a subcontinental issue whereby our greats just never seem to know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Pakistan has seen players do that.
Sunil Gavaskar.
Bangladesh has
Sunny
seen
ji
players
maybe.
do that.
No. Sunny Ji, he knew that, okay, but India lost that series, by the way, when against Pakistan. Yes, a brilliant, fantastic 96 in Bengaluru.
Yeah.
But India lost that game. Sachin.
Yeah, that was a
walked away in
bit of a
2011.
push, yeah.
Should have walked away in 2011.
But that
Ultimate high.
9900s really.
That 100.
When we learn from these guys, Morgan, Sundaresh,
Alistair Cook, I would say.
Cook is a good example. If you're looking at, I mean, he played domestic cricket for years and was very, very good at the domestic level to the point where even now England haven't replaced him.
Maybe a Michael Clark, but I think he kind of sullied his thing by losing the Ashes.
No, but I mean,
white ball he did on
Yeah,
that.
white ball. I mean, he won the World Cup and just, went out. Anyway,
Okay,
Yeah.
so we are joined by Nikhil from Providence, Guyana. And Nikhil, firstly, what is the little birdie at the ground telling you about a restart? Because the rain has stopped.
Yeah, so no little birdie, I'll only tell you because I'm at the ground. So no, it is the covers are being removed. They just put covers for precaution. Now it's really opened up in the sense no dark clouds. You see blue skies there. Can you see the blue skies?
Yeah, very clear
it's
now.
Pretty clear now. That side seems a bit grey. That side, but the rain's coming from this side, which means the rain clouds have passed over. They've gone. So this is the stadium right behind me. So I reckon they are right now. Ground staff is on the ground. What I got to know, and they are inspecting, which is always a good sign. And for all you know, you could still have a toss in maybe another 15-20 minutes. You could have a toss. So for the last few minutes, they've just been taking the covers off. And now once the covers are done, they'll have the toss. And I think you'd be good to go because I don't see any threatening clouds coming anymore. There was rain predicted in the at the start before 12 o'clock, around 11 o'clock or so. There was rain predicted and that rain has already, I think, gone by. There could be rain a little later, but I don't think really threatening kind of clouds or rain is expected later. So that's the latest from here. In fact, I wish I could tell you, you can't hear very clearly, but just a short while ago, before you came live, all Caribbean grounds have a DJ, and this ground is no different. And the DJ usually plays the local music, right? So reggae, soca and all that. So he was playing a lot of reggae, but then he switched to Bollywood. And guess which song he played? It's a song from a film called Mora, featuring Akshay Kumar, Ravina Tandon, and the song is Tip Tip Barsa Pani. He was just playing that. He's got a great sense of humor, the DJ. So listen to that. But now that Tip Tip Barsa Pani is kind of gone.
Yeah, it's just behind the gate now. It's just been.
I mean, there are certain drops falling, but it's not even a drizzle, less than drizzle. It's like when the rain clouds go away, that's sort of a drizzle, I think. May push the toss a bit more, but again, I don't know where this little drizzle is also coming from. I'm not too sure, but there's a slight drizzle happening right now as I speak.
Yeah, I mean, as we had said, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., all the weather predictions had said that there would be rain in Providence, and after that it's pretty clear. I don't think you're going to see anything for at least 4 to 5 hours.
One hopes.
Is it getting heavier, sir?
The drizzle. Now it's a drizzle. It was just pitter patter. Now it's turned into a drizzle.
I think it's
I don't like the sound of it.
the last of those clouds that are going away. I think that's giving you a.
The DJ is going to play the same song again.
I guess that's what it is. It's the last of those clouds, I guess.
You know what song the DJ should play?
Nikhil, we needed you to get close to a shed the other day when we were doing the TV show. Hope you've spotted one today as well.
What? Harshit, come again?
The other day when I think you were in St. Lucia, you needed a shed because it started to rain in the middle of the show.
St. Lucia or Antigua?
I hope you spotted one right now as well.
Wasn't it Antigua?
Yeah, that was Antigua. Don't mess with Siddharth's memory. It was Antigua indeed. So, I mean, I've got a shed. I am in the shed right now.
Nice.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can clearly see those drops. Yeah, it is drizzling. Sharp drizzle.
You see few puddles of water as well over there.
That's about to happen.
Yeah.
It will. But let's see. Will this impact the outfield and everything, will they get the covers back on? Do you
But
think
so
that-
far there's no update.
Maybe they with this drizzle they may have to bring the covers back on.
Oh dear.
Slight drizzle, but may have to bring the covers back on.
So yeah, the Bhagam Bhag with the rain continues at this point. But we can see the players are currently practicing.
So
These
that
could be
stopped
deferred
already.
visuals. These could be
No,
deferred
no.
visuals. You never know.
Those are not necessarily live visuals. They're deferred as well sometimes.
No matter what we see
No
on
matter
the
what the
screen.
broadcast
Yeah.
We have warned people should do that.
Yes, exactly. So, yep. That's why this rain frustration, I mean, luckily I think for Barbados in the final there's no rain threat. I think I've seen the weather.
and there's a reserve day, if I'm not mistaken, for the final.
Oh, not again.
No, I'm just telling.
Yeah, there is a reserve day and 190 minutes of
We've
added
got to
time
do
even
that
for
thing.
that.
We've got to do that thing once every year, right? We did last year with the IPL.
No, you did for Asia Cup, you did for IPL, you're now doing it for the West Indies.
Listen, the Asia Cup, the final repaid you 10 times over.
Yeah, but no. Our next job description should be meteorologists. We have done more rain coverage and more rain analysis than match analysis in 3 out of maybe 7.
I thought you
major
already
events.
updated your LinkedIn bio.
Huh? No. Part-time meteorologist. Yeah, so that.
But I
is
think
right.
that's a
And
prerequisite to be.
you were off yesterday. We have suggested Sidvi sir to start a vlog channel,
Not
and he's
again.
going to do that from August.
He should.
Yeah,
Not
he is. And
Maybe
he is also
then
decided.
his morning naps won't be 23 minutes.
No, vlogs in fact give you the room, na?
And that's what. No, he'll get tired from
No,
vlogging.
no,
and
but
then
that-
he'll
And the
get
name is also decided. Harshit sir will
No.
tell you
For
the
that, I'll have to say hasta la vista to this place.
Sit vlog.
No. It's much more interesting, Shane sir.
Array, it's called
Vishy wines.
Vichy Wines.
Wine with a W.
Wine with a W.
That's good. I like this one.
But for that, I have to say hasta la vista to this place because I can't start on my own. It's not allowed.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
What about your book?
Book is going on fine, and until I think after this tournament ends because of the time difference and everything, I'll resume work on the book. I'll have to thank after Hardik Pandey, I have to thank Haris Rauf for the fan material that has come. So thank you Haris Rauf for that as well. It's going on.
Speaking of fans though, Nikhil, I'm sure you know the learned cricket fans who would have thronged the stadium are aware of the fact that there's a 250-minute buffer time for this match. How do they sort of look at it? Do they mind staying those extra hours at the stadium, or they were okay with, let's say, just that 1 hour of added time, which usually is the case?
Well, I tell you what, these guys have made the trip to Guyana. Some of them have taken 4 or 5 different flights to get here. They surely don't mind sitting here 1 hour, 2 hours. In fact, if you ask them, they think the 3.5 hour game is too short. For them, you know, some of them have traveled 24 hours, 30, 40 hours. They don't mind if they can be here in the stadium and they've got party stands here. They've got tickets for the party stand. They're happy being here for 6-7 hours. So the pre-build-up game is fun for them, 2-3 hours, having a gala time here. Then the game happens. So they just don't mind. All they want is a game. It gets delayed, all right. And that 250 minutes buffer time, which means local time 240. So we still have 4 hours 20 minutes. 4 hours 20 minutes for the game to start. And if it can start in 4 hours 20 minutes, you're going to have a full 40 over game. So that's how much time we have. So I'm sure the fans here don't mind partying for those 4 hours. And then the game starts, and then they have a 20 over game. They're okay. The fans in India that may have trouble because it'll be well past midnight.
So for the
Indian,
So for the Indian fans over there, there's a pre-party, so they could be pre-gaming, as they say here in India. They could be pre-gaming right now. Then they'll be at the main party, and then there'll be a post-party also. After party.
Yeah, after party.
No, just remind me.
if India wins.
Yeah. See, are we covering a T20 or a test match? Because this looks to be a test match shift proper. 8 p.m. start, it ends at 4 a.m. That's how you're going to get, because 12:10, if a 40 over game begins, you're not finishing it before 4:30.
But you only said that rain is predicted only till 11 a.m. local time.
Let's do an anti-rain dance. We actually look up some of those.
Anti-rain dance.
Yeah, like you have rain dances, right?
Yeah.
A dance to call the rain. I want one to repel it in Guyana. I'm going to actually go find one.
Or just find all the butterflies maybe and just put them in a room so that they don't flutter their wings. You know the theory, right?
Yeah, heard of that.
Yeah.
a butterfly flaps its wings in Cuba, there could be a hurricane in the other part of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, I think they do that anti-rain dance in Mexico. It's no longer.
Are you going to do that, Shane sir? Right?
Yes, I'm not right now. I need to figure out the steps and everything. But yeah, I'll give it a shot.
No, anyway, I think the rain has stopped, by the way.
No, I'll still do it for the future. Who knows?
4 hours, there's going to be no.
Maybe with these 4 hours, you have enough time, Shane, to prepare.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think there is no rain now after this, so that's why you can keep it for Barbados if you can.
Oh yeah, we'll leave it for them.
Barbados.
Now people are waiting for the dance today itself.
No. But what if India lose? Then Shane will dance.
Dance is happening before the game starts.
Exactly, he's right. Dance will happen in the course of those 4 hours where we'll come again. We'll tell our viewers what the game situation
and then
is.
A different dance if India wins, right, Shane?
Yeah. That's for the final.
That's for the final.
Final India win, then there's
It's not just a dance.
dancing in the aisles, dancing on the roofs, dancing. There's going to be dhol over here, whether Siddharth likes it or not.
No, then I'll come deferred. Live. I'll come after this. I need to protect my sanity for 1-2 hours.
Siddharth's seniority will be kept aside and drums will come here.
What seniority? Everybody knows I'm 40 plus. Everybody knows it. It's no open secret.
So he's sensitive.
Traditionally, I've been told that in this kind of a room, you amplify the noise and you get those dhols in. It's a terrible situation. For all of us to hear.
No, but it's not going to go on and on and on. Just a 5
minutes or it's putting off. It's terribly putting off. For a fan who wants to listen on his mobile device, if he's got his earpiece, suddenly the dhol comes up.
They have their thing, They can reduce the volume, increase it, whatever.
No, I mean still. It is not a pleasant experience. Honestly, it isn't a pleasant experience.
Siddharth fans, family members would love you to be, seeing you play the dhol the other day if India are to win.
You can play the dhol. That's a better thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you should.
We'll get a dhol or a jenga or something for you.
You should play the dhol.
Namaskar.
Sidvi sir,
Dur se namaskar for all these kind of things. Sorry.
It's a jenga, jemba maybe. Jemba.
Jenga's that.
Jemba is an instrument as well.
It's Eric Jemba.
Which instrument is that?
I'll show you.
Mohabbat. Amitabh Bachchan from Mohabbat. Anti-fun.
Anti-fun? Anti-sanity?
No, that guy, he like there's that scene where Shah Rukh Khan is dancing and then it's a very old movie.
This is what a jemba is. Seen this thing?
It's like a mini mongo.
Yeah, you'll see plenty of these in the stands today as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you will. So
what is the do we have any updates yet as of now on what the toss?
Let's check. If Nikhil's still with us, Nikhil, any inkling what the toss situation is like?
No, not yet. I'm just trying to figure out because, the latest updates will only be available at the press box since I'm not there. Unlikely to get. I'm just checking with my, friends who may be there. They can update me as to what is happening at the moment. But yeah, nothing as of now. No, nothing. Nothing that I can tell you right now. I'll wait for a message to come from inside and then update you guys.
So yeah, I think the rain has stopped yet again in Providence. Or is it still drizzling, Nikhil?
No, it stopped drizzling. No rain at all.
No rain
the
at
rain
all.
has stopped, and those minor clouds that were there, they've vanished too. So yeah, I don't see again any threatening clouds around. Majority of the sky is blue. There was just a patch of gray clouds, and it was just those clouds that got the rain. But no, not overall. No.
Okay, so I
think we can end the stream and maybe come back later once we have the toss and everything.
Yeah, that we can do. So yes, once we get a proper update of what is the toss, because there's going to be no revised playing conditions. This is the toss time that we have to do until 12:10 a.m. There is no deduction in overs. So we'll wait for the toss now to come and what will be the time. So join us then for that. We will continue the live updates as and when we get it from Guyana and from here. Subscribe to Sports Today for all, and from Harshit, me, Shane, Shashwat and Nikhil from Guyana, it's bye-bye. See you shortly.